extrusion place that made extrusion dies.
Okay.
So,
yeah, well, you use a die. You use a die actually to extrude through from the extruder. So, yeah,
both your hands are numb.
Spot in
my hands are just totally effed up. But the good news for everybody out there in Twitch land who's watching this right now is I don't need to use my hands to stream. So, hey, everybody out there in Twitch, I'm Carlos A.S. Lysing.
Dice rolling, too.
Yeah, I am the Dungeon Master for the first Betrayal campaign. Thanks for tuning in to us. I got my players out there right now, down below us, as you can see. We got David Aho, who's playing Arion Marquesas. We got Patrick Hope, will be playing Agrias and Kalia tonight. Over next to him, we've got Brixton Beholder's Bane, Matthew Lazinski. And then we have Magnus Miller-Wilson, John Paul Cordson. I have a little bit of performance to take care of tonight. I think you guys will really like what I'm going to be showing you here. The first thing I want to show everyone is, for those of you who know, Magnus is playing has been playing John Paul Cordson. He's also been playing Eric's in our portion of the game that's in the Tenera. Well, we've got to introduce last week his actual main character, and that's Geotesculus. And I wanted to show everybody a little something. Those of you guys know out there, in Twitch, we have Geotesculus is a... I use different art that I've commissioned from from one of our Castle Entertainment artists, who is Mike Lowe, to do promotional stuff. We finally got the official Geotesculus art out there right now.
Nice.
You're looking at it right over there. This is before we actually moved him to be using a couple different kinds of weapons. I actually commissioned the art before we moved him to using the weapons he's going to be using in the game. So this is a placeholder that I've got right now for him. That's Geotesculus right over there, the character. So you'll be seeing that being used in the future for promotional materials. But the other 4 pieces of art that I'm commissioned for everybody will be contained in the upcoming Castle Entertainment module, which has just been finished, which will be released in December. And I thought I would show everybody a mock-up of the cover of it. And that is the module that will be released in December. For those of you guys who may be aware of it, this campaign, the first Betrayal campaign, I promised the dudes that it would all be released in module form eventually. And the first part of our game is actually now going to be released in module form. This is called While on the Roads to Caverns Cove. While on the Road to Caverns Cove, you'll notice the color that I chose for it. And the reason I chose that color for it is this is my version. This is Castle Entertainment version of Village of Hamlet, basically. And that is the color sample from the cover of Village of Hamlet. The art, as you can see on the cover, is done by Rachel Quinlan. Rachel is a dear friend of Castle Entertainment's, and I really thought she would knock the cover of it out of the park, which I think she did.
I love that artwork.
Oh, thank you very much, man. I wanted it to be something that you guys would be proud of. I wanted it to be something that, would reflect the game. The next episode of this that you'll see will deal with the second portion of the game. That we've recorded so far, and in that you'll see characters like Eric's appear and John Paul, their character sheets. But the first one only has the first 4 of them, and it will basically detail Caverns Cove in that first seminal part of the campaign. So you guys can be watching out for that from Castle Entertainment.
The first part of it. What is that?
Coming days.
What does that entail too?
You will see. I don't want to give away too much, but
cool.
Guys, I thought that you guys would really like that. I think it's a super. I think it's a really cool thing that will be part of the campaign. That it'll capture it, and I think it'll be stuff that you guys can really, really enjoy going forward. So.
Hey Carlos.
Yeah, what's up,
bud? I'm glad you explained the color. I thought you picked it because of Matthew's wall.
Oh.
He doesn't need any more eagle boots.
He did, but he was looking for a new excuse.
Right.
Oh, thanks so much, Colonel Wolfslayer. Just so everybody knows out there in the in our Twitch audience. Oh, you know what? Oh, there she is. Amanda did make it. So thanks for showing up, Amanda. Amanda's a real trooper. She's sick right now. I just want to let everybody know out there that she's usually our moderator, as some of you know. I was going to tell you guys when we were offline, but I didn't get on fast enough that we're going to have to keep up with the benefits everybody gets from our viewers. But Amanda looks like she'll be able to keep track at least for some of that tonight. Okay, well, now that that's taken care of, and now that I've given you guys the big reveal, and for those of you out there who, I do want to say one last thing before I go on with our game. For those of you out there who have been trying to reach me over the last few weeks, I've been notoriously silent on Facebook. I've been notoriously silent on through email. I've been hard to reach. That module you just saw is why. I didn't want to give away to you guys too much of what I was doing because I knew you guys would be excited about what was, what we were going to be doing going forward with the game and everything. And I just, I guess I just didn't want to give up too much of the plot while, I was working on it. So now you guys realize why I might have been a little bit hard to reach and hard to find. It wasn't because I was ignoring you. Honestly, it's because I had a big surprise for you, and I know I'm terrible at keeping secrets, and I didn't want to give away too much.
Dude, you never have to apologize for taking a break from social media. That shit's crazy.
It is crazy right now. But more than that, if you've ever seen, I don't know out there, I know David has a love-hate relationship with his band because we were just talking about it the other day. But there's a Pearl Jam, inside the liner notes of Vitology, Eddie Vedder wrote, I just want to move the rock. I don't want to talk about moving the rock. I don't want to talk about, I don't want anything that gets in the way of moving the rock. And what he's referring to is, I'm very acquainted now with that feeling of sometimes everything just gets in the way of me actually writing for Castle Entertainment. All the little stuff that we have to do we have to do so much promo, we have to do so much. But every once in a while I think to myself, you know what, I'm doing so much of this stuff that it's actually impeding my progress of writing the stuff that we're trying to get out there. So I just, I love doing all that stuff. I love being in conventions. I'm doing a conventions thing tomorrow, but there's also a lot of other, there's sometimes that gets in the way of me actually being able to do Castle Entertainment stuff. And so anyway, that's neither here nor there. I just want to let you guys know that why I was hard to reach is because I was busy doing stuff like, okay, how am I going to revise some of Patrick's stuff to make it, to take the Greyhawk out of it, or Arion stuff to make it, so I'm respecting IP. How am I going to translate all this stuff? All these little tiny notes that I've made on Caverns Cove and things that you guys did to inform the setting. Because you guys did a lot that changed the way that I wanted to present the material. Like, for example, when you guys went up to the blacksmith, Retland Garvin. Retland Garvin was a really simple character at first, but a lot of you guys, the stuff that you did with him changed the way I wanted to present the character. Same with the gnomish innkeeper over at the Chuckling Chimera. The little things like that. And then last week, while I'm in the middle of writing it, I'm halfway through writing it, David Aho drops this nugget in the middle of it. Of our game. He goes, you know what? I think I wouldn't mind going back to Caverns Cove. That was a lot of fun. I want to see all the secrets inside of it. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, oh my God, don't say anything, Carlos. Don't say anything. Please don't say anything. Shut up, Carlos. I was trying so hard not to say anything because I knew the module would be coming out. But, okay. Done talking about it. Let's move the rock, boys.
Did give us a little bit of a sneak peek into Caverns Cove as it is.
Yeah. You guys know more of the secrets than anybody else out there. So, I'm really needless to say, I'm just really excited about this project. All of you guys will see familiar faces, things that you know and love, and you'll probably see a few things in there you're like, oh my god, I wish I would have seen that the first time we went there. Because you'll be like, thinking to yourself, man, I wish we would have recruited this character out there that was eligible to be recruited. Or I wish I would have known there was a Temple of Palor in here. Or I wish I would have visited Odd House before and seen, the Magi that are there. And you'll see stuff like this. For example, Agrias will notice when he goes to the to Caverns Cove in the module, he'll see that a lot could have been done with the money changer that maybe wasn't evident at first, because she responds differently to elves than other people. Just, little stuff like that. I think you guys will
Money
like
wasn't the only thing that would be changing.
Oh, no, it won't be the only thing they'll be changing. In fact, one other thing I will mention about it before I move on, and we actually game here, because, like I said, I want to move the rock, actually, is the Arion stuff with Old Widow Granville. The Old Widow Granville plotline that actually is going on in Caverns Cove has a lot of facets to it, and a lot of things that Arion maybe didn't even know what's going on with her, that he will have a chance to see now. A little, it'll be really cool for you guys to actually get a chance to see that. And for our players out there, our viewers who have followed us throughout the entire game and have seen some of the stuff that we've been doing, I think you'll really, really like. I think you guys will really like to see, the stuff that the players didn't run into, or the ways that maybe it'll intersect with your games that you can use. Because Caverns Cove is my village of Hamlet. It was designed so that you guys in your games can use it and as a starting point for adventure. There's a lot of ways that this could have gone that the players didn't take. So, Grendelwolf, so will the Shadow Realm parts be printed on black pages and white type? No, because the Shadow Realm stuff is actually in the second module. The Shadow Realm stuff did not make it into the first module because of the way that things have been. I'm partitioning it. The Shadow Realm stuff is for a much higher level than these guys were at that point in time. So that'll be in the second or the third module.
One question.
Sure.
How many pages is this one?
98.
Oh, I was hoping about 200 the way the last module came out.
Nope, 98 pages. The last one was 112, I believe, was
107 for...
107? Was 107? Okay. Oh, no, that for the PDF, maybe.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, the printed page, because it's got the fly leaf, and there are certain blank pages in there that I needed. I like it to be so if people want to remove pages from a module or a book for some reason, I don't know why you would do that, but if you wanted to do that, I like to make sure that the character sheets are on the same page. So I make some blank pages in there to set up formatting so you can do that. Prometheus, good evening. Mean Keb, font size 8. No, I didn't do font size 8, actually. It's in 10-point font because I was told by some of our earlier... some of the people that got our early modules that I was going a little too small with font type, because I remember when I did When Comes the Witching Hour, I did it in 8-point font type. I did that for a reason, though. Early TSR modules were done in 8-point. I have a kind of a style guide to all the TSR modules that one of our viewers gave us, and I saw that, okay, 8-point font type for the interiors on some of the early modules, let's do that, because as you guys know, I'm trying to call back to mind some of the early TSR modules. But then some of our viewers were telling us, hey man, the font type is just too small. We're all older now than we were when we did those first things. I can't friggin' read it. So I chose to move from 8-point font type up to 10. I made some other stylistic changes inside of there just for ease of reading. One of my good friends and longtime viewers, Lamashtu, as you guys may remember from over there, Lamashtu always tells me that that readability is king. You want to be you want everybody to be able to read the modules that you're putting out there. So that's why that happened. But you guys will I think you guys will like what I've gotten. Hey, what's up, Extort? Great to see you. With no further ado, unless anybody's got any more questions about Castle Entertainment modules, I have everything planned out now until I think middle of next year for our workflow. So you guys, you guys have got some really cool stuff coming. Stuff at least I'm excited about.
And talking about gaming into the next year, how many games are you planning on doing for GaryCon if that happens?
I am doing exactly one game for GaryCon next year.
Really?
It'll be one game. And the reason why Amanda and I were talking, my merch Valkyrie and I were talking, usually what I do for GaryCon is I release I do 3 modules. And the reason I do it is that's kind of been where Castle Entertainment does its releases, is at GaryCon and at Gamehole. I don't want to do that anymore. What I want to do is I'm going to run one module game there, and I'm going to run the rest are going to be adventure cards. The reason I want to do that is this. I have learned that people that I really want to game with at GaryCon are not being able to get in my games.
Yeah.
Because they sell out in like 4 minutes or less in some cases. That's not going to happen this time. What's going to happen instead is I'm going to run one game publicly, and the rest of them I'm going to run by invitation.
Okay.
And that way I can get the people I want to game with in the games. I want, like, for example, let's say Extort over there, okay? Extort is a big supporter of ours. He's watched stuff. Grendelwolf's Lair is the same way. They watch our stuff. But unless they're buying a platinum badge, they're not going to be able to get in a game. Well, I don't want to do that. If I find out that those guys are going to go to GaryCon this way, I can say, hey, look, I'm running a game, and I want you guys to be a part of it. This is when you guys should be free. Hey, thanks so much, Canadian Ancient Gamer. We love you, brother. Appreciate it. Okay, that being said, I think that's all I got for GaryCon and for me.
Does that mean
Wait a
doing
minute.
a first Betrayal game at GaryCon?
I can't hear you, brother. What'd you say?
Does that mean we're doing a first Betrayal game at GaryCon?
It very well might be a first Betrayal game at GaryCon if you guys wanted it to be.
Hold it at night because I got most of mine and my games that I'm running are going to be afternoon or Sunday morning.
I can tell you one thing I'm not doing. I am not running Sanguine Labyrinth there unless I know that Patrick is going to be there. Patrick and Jeremy. Those guys have to be there for that. I want those guys to be a part of that game because that's how we set up the paradigm, and I want to roll with that. So, okay. So let's move. We could do a Twitch game live from GaryCon. We could. All right, boys, let's go ahead and we'll move on forward. When I last left my Intrepid Heroes, all of you, Arion, Kalaya, Brixton, and John Paul, were at the Prokanzai Project on the Lapping Shores of Radek. Which, you know what, I hate to cut in there one more. I'm going to cut in one more time with something about Caverns Cove. Caverns Cove, actually, that module is going to have the first Castle Entertainment cartography not done by me in it. I have contracted out a professional cartographer to do Caverns Cove.
Diesel?
Huh? What's
Diesel?
that? No. Diesel was out of the price range, unfortunately. Knowing that you like Diesel, I contacted Diesel directly about doing stuff for work for Castle because I thought to myself, you know what? If it's what my players want, let's see if it can be done. Diesel's out of the price range. Instead, we've got Glenn Seal, who does professional cartography for Hyperborea from our good friend Jeff Delaney.
Nice.
Yeah. You guys, I think, I really dig it. I think it's really badass. So, no, not Anna Meyer either. And the reason I didn't do Anna Meyer Canadian is because I wanted a hand-drawn style for this rather than a digital cartography because it translates a little bit better to the printed, non-color printed. For those of you guys who get the PDF, you'll see the color version of the map. For those of you guys who get the printed version, you'll get a non-color printed version of the map. And for all my players here, you'll get both. So, okay, enough of that. Time to game. So, when I last of my intrepid heroes, you guys were all at the Procans project, for the exception of Agrias, who was at the Tower of Shadows. I'm going to go ahead with the Procans group first, then I'll move over to Agrias here in a moment. Everybody had managed to do some of the things that they'd wanted to do in order to get the ball rolling before you guys move out into the Solnor Ocean as part of the Procans project. The last thing we left on was a massively emotional moment with Magnus doing a naming ceremony for his pet owlbear, who was a snowy white owlbear cub. Brixton was a part of that. John Paul was watching that from as part of the crowd. Kalaya was probably rolling her eyes at the sentimentality there of the whole crew, while her sister Melina was probably drew a little bit of a tear from her. After the naming ceremony, I would have imagined everybody would have gone to sleep. So I'm going to begin with the next day. The next day comes. Sun rises up over the Solnor. And at this point in time, I think it's important for all of you guys to know what the season is. All right? When we began the Caverns Cove campaign, if you guys may remember that it was early autumn. Well, now we are beginning to get into the top of winter. So, it's getting colder outside, as you know. The wind is coming in off the Solnor. It swirls in. The wind, as it goes across Radek, goes from west to east. However, when it hits the ocean makes it swirl a little bit, like it does on a lot of coastal regions. And so it's pretty cold out right now. You get the wind is not howling in, but precipitation is starting to come in kind of heavy, a little bit more often. Snow is a little bit more frequent. So when you wake up first thing in the morning here on Caverns Cove, at the edge of the Solnor, snow is starting to fall. It's gentle drifting snow that gets caught in the occasional gusts and swirls it around. Your owlbear area, when you wake up, everybody has those little lodges, the wooden lodges that they built for them. Your owlbear is sitting there looking out the window at the snow swirling around. Agrias, you and Kalaya, you and Melina have the same lodge, and Melina is just looking outside, just kind of watching the snows fall down. Brixton, your lodge is occupied by both Sunny and Lily. Who do not seem at first like they would be very good roommates. But the fact that they both cook and are expert cooks makes them a little bit better than you might expect. Because you always have fresh, bacon, eggs, things like that ready for you. John Paul, when you wake up first thing in the morning, this is your kind of weather. You're a barbarian from the north, so consequently, you're used to this. This is your kind of weather. You'll notice in the background. You'll notice in the background of the first Betrayal I've got there, the ocean is a little bit stormy. I've changed subtly the backdrops for this part of the crew. You may have noticed. You may not have noticed. I do that to reflect what the changing season is, and so all of you guys are looking outside at the weather. The men have stopped working on the outside of on the palisade wall. That's all done. The grounds are covered with snow on the inside. The men that were working on there have been changed over, converted into guards. So they're all sitting there on that little bit of a battlement that they've made there on top of the palisade, watching for possible incursion from humanoids that would come. You can see that the paladin Dorian is walking back and forth on the battlements. The pirate ship Nereid Shawl is bobbing out on the ocean waters. I'm going to begin with Kalaya. Kalaya, what would you like to do first thing this morning?
Everyone's still slowly waking up.
Everyone is still waking up right now. No one has left their lodges first thing in the morning yet. In spring, it was much more common for people to be wandering around. Now nobody wants to leave their lodges unless they have to.
I'm just going to kind of go over where the food is and find something to eat, I think.
Okay. So you walk out of the lodge. The communal food is usually cooked by Lily and Sunny in the middle of Pro Kanzai's that little fire pit that they have there, which has now been bounded with stone. A little bit of mortar has been built there, so it's a little bit more of a permanent kind of thing. Brixton, what would you like to do? Lily and Sunny are leaving as you're waking up to go out to begin cooking food.
Okay, they didn't cook in my room, they just...
No.
Okay, so,
No, there's not good ventilation in there for that.
Man, is Lightning still at camp?
Lightning is still in camp.
Okay. I think I'm gonna prepare my spells.
Okay.
And,
so, could you tell me what you're gonna prepare first thing in the morning?
Not right now, I gotta pull up, because I got a lot of new spells, and I'm trying to sort through that. And then I'm probably gonna go see Aurora, get some breakfast, that kind of stuff.
I do want to ask you something. Roll me a percentage dice, Brixton.
Uh-oh. $67.
Okay. Never mind. John Paul, what would you like to do when you wake up first thing in the morning?
First a question. So a while ago, like a couple months ago, I think when Lightning first showed up, I was somewhat new as a player.
That's correct.
So I was trying to figure out who the names were, and I'm terrible with names anyway.
Okay.
There was a military. Was it a halfling?
That was her. That's Lightning. She's the
Lightning.
She's our halfling ranger.
Who she was drinking people under the table and was really rough around the edges.
Yes, that's Lightning.
I like her a lot, so she's with us?
Yeah, she's with you guys right now.
Okay, all right. If she's just hanging out or whatever, I'll just buddy up with her at various points.
Okay.
Easy, John.
So, John Paul, you walk out of the lodge.
No, I didn't mean buddy up.
Okay. When John Paul wants to buddy up with somebody, he buddies up with them.
Oh, yeah. You'll see that coming a mile away.
So, John Paul, you're walking out of there, and you can see that out of your lodge, and you can see that the world around you is that beautiful winter white with the snow's falling down all around you. It looks to you like somebody is raising a tree in the middle of the Procan's Eye area. In the World of Greyhawk, they do celebrate something like Christmas. It is a Feast of Pelor, Needfest. And that is what they're probably getting ready to celebrate over there. Pelor is probably the most commonly worshipped god in the World of Greyhawk, at least in the Flyness. So it doesn't surprise you at all to see that there's a bunch of Pelor worshippers there that are among the handymen and things like that are raising a little bit of a tree there. They don't have ornaments or anything like that, but they do raise a Yule tree there.
So, question about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
As far as Needfest goes and the lore around that, is that like giving to the poor and the needy?
It is.
Okay.
And for example, in the Free City of Greyhawk, the Pelorian clergy go around and they give through usually the small gifts and some coppers and stuff through the beggars' quarter and things like that. And you mentioned Lightning. I think I should also bring up right now that halflings have an interesting naming nomenclature in Greyhawk, at least as far as I'm concerned. Every single one of the halflings that you will find, unless it's a really unusual halfling, will have their first name be some kind of natural effect or feature, like Cloud or Tor or Squall or Lightning.
Arrow.
Where their last name will be something named after, will be like a compound word, like Running Brook or things like that. So shouldn't surprise you when you see things like that from gnomes. Okay, Ariane, you have woken up now. The light is streaming in through the windows of your lodge. Your owlbear's kind of milling around there, looking out the windows. Looks like she's trying to. Sylvain looks like she's trying to figure out what this snow's all about.
Okay. I want to get out and do a little bit of hunting with her.
Okay.
And hunting, training, / whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I've got your notes on what you want to train her on.
So, and I figured probably at least if I'm not just doing stuff for her, get some stock, food stock for the rest of the group too. So
okay.
Much
so
as
you
I can.
leave, get yourself dressed, get your bows and stuff out. And, as you're walking up to the front gate, you notice that the front gate of the palisade, there's a rider that is coming towards the Procan's Eye palisade fence.
From which way?
Single rider. He's coming from the west. He's dirty. He's covered in muck. Got a shield on. He's wearing banded mail armor. He looks very tired. Looks like he's gone from a long way.
Okay.
And Dorian and Herrick are getting off the battlements, and look like they're getting ready to approach and talk to him.
All right. I'll stay back.
Okay.
But within hearing distance, so I know what's going on.
Okay. Dorian looks over at Herrick, and you can hear them talking as they go up. Remember what I said. Let me do all the talking. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what happened with our last messenger. We're not going to have a repeat of that performance, are we? No, we're not. Listen, it wasn't anything that Lynn couldn't take care of. I mean, she bandaged him up just fine. Yes, but we don't shoot crossbows at perfect strangers. So he comes down. He walks over to the man, and he looks at him. He says, actually, I don't need you at all. He goes, I know who this is. He smiles. He says, Karas, it's good to see you. Holds up his hand. You wouldn't believe how far I've had to ride to come to actually meet you. Oh, I believe it. He says, how were the mountains? They're the mountains. I didn't see any humanoids, but there's much I need to tell you. There's been changes. There's a tower up there now. When did that appear? It's a long story. Come in. He looks over his shoulder, sees you approaching, Arion. Arion! Good to see you. Let me introduce you to my friend. He says, this is Karas Wamage. Karas Arion Marquesis. He looks over at the man. He says, he's a fellow clergyman of Daern.
Okay.
He's come from, where'd you come from last? He says, I came from Almor. He says they found one.
Found one what?
What? They found a fortress. Who found a fortress? Bunch of people in Captain General Osmaran's service. They found one of the instant fortresses, one of the blessed fortresses. I see, he says. We have much to discuss then. Arion, you go ahead and you walk past him, your baby owlbear. Sylvain's just kind of moving around with her hands, her claws a little bit, trying to get, you're holding her, but she wants to get down and walk through the...
I want to try to get her to rely on herself as well. I want to try to work with her, and so I don't have to carry her all the time, because that just frees me up.
Okay.
And it gets her more normal.
Meanwhile, at the Tower of Shadows, Agrias, you haven't been staying in your room very often, based on the last episode of the first Betrayal. Instead, you've been staying in the main suite of the Tower of Shadows. Things have been going very well. Alta Teresa pretty much told you after everything was done that she'd been waiting 2 lifetimes for that.
Wow. That's quite the statement.
Well, she grew up alongside of you and now is going the other direction. So,
Right.
But she tells you your morning breakfast is done. Your morning training has been done. And she tells you that I know it's time for you to leave soon.
Yes, I'm just. I kind of give her a nod, but then I give her that look of, and say, I'm a little confused on how I'm supposed to complete these magics or these spells in this book I have.
She cocks her head a little bit, and she says, I don't think I understand. You mean the ones that are beyond your ability to cast at this point?
Yes, yes.
She laughs a bit. She says, one day soon they won't be.
Okay.
You have to understand, I was preparing you not only for what comes, or for what is now, but for what comes soon, down the road. So, this will prepare you if you are away from the Tower of Shadows for a lengthy period of time, and you have no opportunity to come upon new spells. They'll be there waiting for you.
Thank you, my love. And then I kind of stash the book underneath.
When you say that, she puts her hands out and holds both of your hands. And she just kind of looks at you in the eye, just kind of smiles a bit. She says, if they knew in the garden what you had just said, all of them would tremble with fear.
I just smile really big.
The past and the present have become one, and so now the future is assured.
That is a good thing.
Indeed. Here, I have a present for you. And she pulls out a small pouch, a black pouch, and hands it to you.
Okay, I receive it.
Inside of there are seeds and petals from one of the prismatic chrysanthemums. She says, and as soon as you hold that, you get this vision. This sudden flashes of imagery start hitting you of Elin, the druid, and you handing them to her, and her nodding and taking them. She says, you'll find a way for these to take root.
I nod with an understanding of the meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell her, well, I plan to be back within the next few days, but is there a way we could mask me to be older in appearance as I make my way back to the fortress?
I think we can arrange that, she says. She pulls out of one of her pouches where her spell components are kept, a small, it's a little length of like silk, and you're not sure, you realize then it's a caterpillar chrysalis. She tosses it in the air, and about 3 or 4 strokes of the blade, the thing just kind of rains down in gossamer over top of you. And she looks at you and holds up the sword again. You can see yourself in its reflection in the steel. And you look wizened. You got gray hair pulled back on the sides and everything. She says, I think you look very distinguished.
Thank you, love.
She laughs at it.
Then I ask her, is there a way you could assist me in getting back to camp?
Of course. I will send you now through shadows, she says. Be prepared. As you remember, the journey is not so straightforward.
And right before she casts it, I give her an extremely long, passionate kiss.
As she does the same to you. And it's so weird when you do that. It's that sensation of 2 halves of something greater making a whole. Back at the encampment, Kalaya is there with Melina. The girls are cooking. You guys are sitting at the around the campfire. Kind of a normal gray day there on the ocean front. Melina looks at you and she says, you know you're not a part of this. You don't have to do this if you don't want to.
Well, it's not a great idea to go back with keeping the formula I have. I'm kind of joined in with you guys at this point.
Kind of just puts her arm around your shoulder, holds you. She says, I've wanted to hear that for so long. 2 lifetimes, it seems.
It's the one of the few times where Kalia laughs and goes, "Oh, okay, well, what do you recommend I do to get better acquainted with our crew?"
Well, I don't know if not threatening to kill them might be a good first step, but she says, but I don't know. Maybe you could talk to who's the one you don't know? You know a lot about John Paul, and you seem to get along good with Arian. Perhaps getting to know Brixton might be a good idea.
Yes, that is a great idea, little sister. Where is the magic mage?
He's coming out of his right over there. He's coming out of his lodge right now. I'll leave and give you guys a little bit of room to get better acquainted.
Oh,
Besides,
that's such a great idea.
I need to speak to the captain at any rate.
Okay.
So she leaves. Agrias, you can see Brixton coming out of his lodge, walking.
Agrias or Kalia?
Oh, I'm sorry, Kalia.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah. Brixton, you see Kalia standing there in the middle of the area where the food is
visibility. I get out of it.
Are you going to cast invisibility?
No.
Okay. What are you going to do?
I see Kalia.
Okay, you walk up to Kalia.
No, like when I'm leaving, I see Kalia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to keep going to the ocean.
Oh, so you start walking towards the ocean.
Well, like, I was going to go see Aurora anyway, and, like, just because Kalia is there doesn't mean we have to be friendly, so I'm going to let her take point on this interaction.
Okay.
Wow.
Kalia, you see Brixton kind of do that little long U-turn over to the...
I'm missing. Holy cow.
John Paul, you're outside looking at the snow. You're seeing this kind of play out in front of you. All of the things I just mentioned. So tell me what you want to do.
Are they still struggling to get the tree up?
No, the tree's up now. They're all just they're kind of arguing about how they want to, who's going to, take care of it and stuff like that. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Eric just said put it up. Did you want to disobey him? No, that's all right. No. Remember what he did last messenger that came? Yeah, I remember. I don't feel like getting crossbowed.
So do I see Kalia?
Yeah, you see Kalia. She's standing there, and Brixton's heading over towards the ocean.
Oh, like, stride over towards her. Not quite running, but, like, walking faster than usual, and just, like, go to pick her up and give her a great big hug. If she, like, spins around and kicks me in the nuts before I do it, then I obviously stop, but...
Kalia, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna receive the hug.
Okay, you receive the hug. He's a big dude. John Paul's almost 7 foot tall. He's powerfully muscled. Oh my god! I just realized something about Caverns Cove. Anyway, so you give him a big hug. Kalia, John Paul, please go ahead.
All right, I'll put her back down after giving her sort of a kiss on the head.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I'm gonna look at John Paul and go, did you see how rude Brixton was?
I'm sure he was just, distracted by something. He never intends to be rude. He just, isn't right in the head.
Well, can you please make an example of him? I'm trying to become part of the camaraderie here.
I would be happy to. Especially for you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Nice to see someone's a gentleman around here.
John Paul, what are you gonna do then?
I'll just bow really awkwardly and then start, like, walking over towards Brixton with that same, like...
Right. Well,
stride.
also because your legs are so much longer than Brixton's, running out there to catch up to him is really not that big of a deal. Ariane, at the meantime, I need you to roll me a percentage dice as I finish up with John Paul. John Paul, you make it up to Brixton before he makes it to the ocean. What are you going to do? Brixton, you can start feel the energy flowing into you from the presence of Aurora being so close.
I'll, like, pick him up from behind and just, like, wrap him in a giant bear hug. And then, like, you know, like you do with little kids where you pick them up and you swing their legs back and forth like a rag doll underneath them. I'll just, like, swing them back and forth.
Can I try to duck his hug? Like, do I have any sense that this is coming? Can I try to...
He's pretty big, dude. Yeah, give me a percentage die.
That would be like jumping out of the way of building falling.
74.
Roll me. What'd you get?
74.
No, he picks you up and your legs are dangling.
Like a rag doll back and forth. Oh, Brixton!
I mean, I imagine I can't even move my hands.
No, you're pinned. Your arms are pinned.
I'm just gonna be like, John Paul!
You have definitely pissed off Kalaya. I just wanted to let you know.
I was just coming to the ocean.
From aboard her ship, the pirate captain is looking at you, too, just shaking her head.
I'll drop him to the ground and just grin him.
It's a long way.
You're not even going to set him down. You're just going to drop him, just release.
Is that how you're going to do it, John Paul?
On his feet, he's like a cat.
I got Featherfall.
Oh, that's right. And it's far enough. It's far enough of a drop that you just slowly go down the ground.
Can I grab him out of the air and hug him?
Yeah, you can grab him out of the air again if you wanted to.
I'm gonna grab him out of the air and just watch his legs go back and forth.
Okay, Brixton. There's times that Featherfall isn't very hard.
Yeah, right.
You have the best tricks, little Brixton.
I know, but I don't cheat.
No, you don't.
Kalaya, you're from behind and you can see this whole thing happening. It's pretty hard not to laugh.
Oh, yeah, Kalaya's cracking up.
Do I look back at... Can I see Kalaya too, I guess?
Yeah. I'm
gonna wave.
You can't really wave. Your arms are big.
Oh, he hasn't put me down again. When he puts me down, I'm just gonna look at her, like, just stare into her soul.
I'm gonna give a curtsy.
Like a cat. When you pick
I'm
up
gonna
a
curtsy
cat,
and just
they
turn
don't
around and
wanna
walk
pick up
away.
and stare like that.
Okay. Ariane, what'd you roll for your percentage die?
13.
You managed not only to catch a small deer, but Sylvega's pretty well behaved through this whole thing. She's sniffing at different plants out there, trying to rummage around, tracks a squirrel at one point in time, tries to climb a tree, but for the most part, she's pretty well behaved while you're out. So, you're going to bring back your small deer?
Yep. And is she doing fairly well and finding her own as well?
She's tracking right now is what she's learning how to do. And right now she's getting the sense for certain animals and learning what those animals are.
Good.
There's a couple times you have to stop her a little bit because she'll find like tracks of a skunk and you'll recognize the skunk and you'll be like, maybe not that one.
Okay. And when stuff like that, I want to try to do like either a hand or a hand signal or a touch signal. Like, don't do that. So she gets used to those types of things. You know, it's like, I need you to stop or not go there.
You realize as you're training her that as a ranger and a man of the woods, you know that owlbears are pretty... Let's just say they're not the smartest animal in the woods.
No.
However, there's something about this one that's a little different. she seems to respond real well to your. She'll look at you and meet your eyes, and just kind of seem like she understands. It's really strange. And you can thank Ancient Canadian Gamer for that, for rolling that, for giving you for giving you the favor of the God of Wealth.
I don't know the word, but I'm sort of capitulating or
giving in,
recognizing that.
Oh, okay.
And sort of acting on it in a sense, because I'm also almost thinking from the ceremony that I'm also going to refer to her not just as Solveig the Owlbear, but Solveig the Kruski in spirit.
Okay. Yeah, she
like a mind, like that type of a meld. So
I gotcha. So she's the training of the owlbear goes pretty well out there. By the time you end up going back to Procan's Eye, you can see kind of this whole thing playing out where Calliope curtsies, turns around, and Brixton is being just falling out of midair from some distance from John Paul's arms. So it's clear to you that everybody's been that there's been tomfoolery here at the Procan's Eye while you've been gone. It seems like this rider is still talking to Dorian at the front gates. Thanks, Canadian Gamer. We appreciate it. Yeah, they're having a deep philosophical conversation about the significance of what a find of this magnitude could possibly mean to the faith.
Okay, I am also sending you, instead of having to type the whole thing out, I'm sending you my spells for the day.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so you're going to also pray for your spells. Good. All right, yeah. Kalia, after you're done with that, where you've curtsied, where are you going to go?
I'm going to go over to, what's his name? Herrick.
Oh, yeah, Herrick's over there. He's listening in to this conversation with Dorian and this dude you've never seen before. Herrick looks over at you. What's going on?
My sister told me of underground tunnels beneath our camp. I was curious if I'd be allowed to see them.
Dorian shuts up right away. Excuse me. He looks over. He says, I could show you where they're located, but I'm afraid I'm not allowed to let you in. He goes, Orders of Agrias.
Okay. And if I were to be accompanied down?
By Agrias, then you can go.
It's going to be like that.
Come, I'll show you.
Okay, thank you.
So he starts leading you into this area in the middle of the Procan's Eye palisade area. You see what looks to you like a stone cap, a square stone cap has been laid in the middle of the ground. It looks like it's on these slides, these metal rail slides. He goes, it's right here. Goes underneath there, he goes, there's a ladderway that goes into the tunnel area. Says down there, Agrias and some of the others fought all sorts of interesting creatures of type I'm not really sure I know.
And what have we done to fortify it?
You're looking
underneath.
At it, he says. Not only is that stone cap there, he says, but it's been enchanted by... He looks over at Elin, who's over getting breakfast. He goes, it's been enchanted by our druid to ward against incursion from below.
I see. Okay. Carlos, can I make out if the Hand of Winter could get through that enchantment or not? Or any of his little minions?
The Hand of Winter, if he wanted to, could get through that enchantment, could go right through the palisade wall, could go through about 5 of you and still be okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who is it speaking to me again?
This is Dorian, the Paladin of Daern, and Herrick is there.
I look at them both and say, I understand that I'm new and I'm not one of the favorites of this camp.
That's not necessarily true. You're new. I have no feud with you, Dorian said. He says, however, the leader of this camp is Colonel Everin, he says, but his second in command is Agrias the Tenebrous Hand. Therefore, your rank earns you your privilege. I know you understand.
I do indeed.
He nods.
More than you would know. I shall walk to the Colonel then.
You go over towards the Colonel's. The Colonel's walking out of the thing with his daughter. And the Colonel is absolutely aglow today. He has this big smile on his face.
Oh, God.
He's got his peg leg. He sees you. Kalai kind of sees you making eye contact with you. Starts walking over to you. Oh, Kalaya, good morning. Good morning. It's a wonderful day, isn't it?
Good morning, Colonel. It is indeed.
Kalaya, roll me a percentage die.
Let me just bust open that handy-dandy percentage. 71.
Something weird just happened with Shadow in this area.
Okay.
Very subtle, but something strange. It looks like it's around a lodge near here.
Okay. I tell the Colonel I need to be allowed to check out what's underneath the cap of the tunnel, sir.
Ah. Well, what, are you going to be alone, or are you going to with someone?
Yes, my sister and anyone else I can get together to assist me.
Oh. Well, he thinks about it for a second. Agrias did say that he wanted to put whatever was underneath there to rest sooner or later. I don't see any reason why that couldn't be done, as long as you're going with a force significant enough to help you. I wouldn't want you to go in there alone. He laughs.
Oh, I feel capable, sir.
He laughs. He goes, I've heard that before. He says, our gnome likes to say that a lot.
So I've heard.
He says, before you go down there, he says, are you sure you want to expend so much of your energy? He says, today's the day.
I would just like to take a quick peek is all.
Oh, I see. Well, I don't suppose there's a reason why we wouldn't be able to do that. Aldo, he says, he looks over at the cap. He says, I see why you ask. He says, our sentries have prevented you from going in. I'll have a word with them.
No, that is not necessary. They did their job.
No. Yes, but they're going to need my say-so. I wouldn't expect them to take your word for it. Gather up your people that you're going to take and prepare yourself to head down. But do remember, and this afternoon we're going to be setting off into the Solnor. He smiles.
I can't wait.
The consummation of 20 years of my life. 20 years of my life is going to happen today. I can hardly wait.
I understand. You must be quite happy.
You can hardly imagine. Agrias, meanwhile, you have appeared in your lodge.
Okay. How does it look? Does it look pretty untouched? Is there anything out of...
completely since you've been gone.
Okay.
A little bit of dust everywhere.
Okay.
Hey, Lamash. I took your name in vain earlier, Lamash, too.
I'm going to, well, I guess my sword and my dagger are already tucked under my cloak, but I'm going to kind of, is there like a staff or anything I can use?
Sure there is. Yeah, there's a staff in the corner.
Okay, I'm going to use that and kind of bend my back and look just a little more older. Just a little bit. Just a little older.
Okay, you walk out of the thing. Brixton,
yeah.
You and John Paul are over by the shores. Now, what are you going to do, Brixton?
I'm gonna
grin.
say hi to Aurora, that kind of stuff, you know.
Okay.
Go for a little
John Paul, are you going to follow him, or are you going to go somewhere else?
Yeah. I mean, I'll take a hint if he doesn't want me around. But
Brixton, you can you see his familiar, the hippocampus. She's breaching right now, going all over the place. Okay,
that's pretty interesting.
It's beautiful watching her in action. She's sitting there breaching and playing. But as soon as Brixton comes closer, she comes right up to the shoreline area. The weird thing about this hippocampus is she's completely made out of water, it seems like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2. Okay. So what are you going to do, Brixton?
I'm going to kind of signal her that, let her know that we're getting ready to travel today. That we will be moving in water. So I'll be with her again this afternoon.
Okay. She seems really excited about the prospect of you getting ready to go out into the water. Ariane, roll me a 6-sider, please. John Paul, you're sitting there watching him with his connection with his familiar. They kind of don't speak to communicate. They just kind of he'll lean his head up against her aqueous fur and just kind of pet her, and every once in a while he'll mumble something, and it's just, you can hear the waves crashing around. It's a very weird kind of communication, but it seems to work for them.
2.
Okay, I got you. John Paul?
I'm just gonna basically watch.
Okay. Ariane, where are you going exactly now when you've entered the building?
Who are you talking to, me?
Ariane, where are you heading now that you've entered the palisade?
Well, I want to get things organized. Do I know that we're supposed to be leaving today?
Yes.
Okay, then I want to make sure I've got stuff organized and up,
So you're heading to your lodge?
Yeah, and then I'm going to head out to go to the colonel and the ship and wherever everybody else is at then.
Okay.
I don't think there's really anything
You're heading out to your lodge, and the first thing that you hear that sounds unusual to you is this sound like a whistling noise in midair. You turn up, and there's something about the size of a pea that's glowing brightly. And it's hurtling towards you from the sky, and it's going brighter and brighter and brighter. Fire trail coming behind it. In midair, you see the outline of this mage appearing. Make me a saving throw, please. I got 16. it. I got it. Well, go ahead. 16. Agrias, you're walking out in this old man, guys. Kalaya, you are talking to the colonel. Brixton, you're at the shore with John Paul. And there's a sudden eruption of fire in the middle of the Procan's Eyes palisade wall. Just this huge, enormous inferno explodes. There's this magic user standing in the middle of the air, flying around. He's laughing maniacally as he drops his fireball on Lamach, on Ariane. Ariane, you made your saving throw. So that's 9, 11, 21, 26. 33, 34, 35, 36. Take 13, or excuse me, 18. Take 18, please. The last thing you manage to do is cover over your owlbear, because you realize it's fire. It will hurt her double damage, so you cover over Solveig. This eruption of fire explodes around you, licking flame everywhere. Pieces of frozen sod flying all over the place. It's this apocalyptic explosion in the middle of the area. I need everybody here to roll me a 6-sider at this point for initiative.
4.
4 for you. Agrias. 6-sider. 4. Kalaya.
With the adjustments?
No, just give me raw. What'd you get, Kalaya?
6.
Okay. John Paul, what'd you get? 4. 5. Okay. Arion, what'd you roll?
6.
5. 6. 3 for her. 3 for Herrick. Okay. Arion, you go first. What are you going to do?
As I do that, I am casting Leveling the Bow.
Okay.
And pulling out the bow, and I'm gonna two different arrows, one obsidian and one with a white pitch inside it.
Pull it out. The fire's still erupting all around you. You pull out your arrow. Kalaya, you're next. What are you going to do?
Well, what can she do against this guy?
Kill him.
Kill him!
Well, the problem with Kalaya, she's a bit of a close range kind of character. How close can I get to him, Carlos?
You could probably, if you wanted to, you could try and run right underneath him, and he is up about 40 feet in the air.
Can she jump that high?
No. Agrias might be able to, but she can't.
I guess I'll try and throw a shuriken at him.
Okay. Roll me you can roll, shuriken are 4 for smalls or 3 for larges. Are you going to use large or small shuriken?
Large.
Please roll me 3. 3d20.
3d20, okay. D20. 1,
Okay.
13, and 7.
Okay, this is what you guys see. One shuriken misses clear of him. The other one misses. One looks like it's going to hit him, but as soon as it hits him, it hits something invisible in front of him and bounces off with this sharp little glass-sounding tink. John Paul, your turn. What are you going to do? You're over at the ocean.
That's good, because I'm wondering if there's maybe a harpoon with rope or a net on the shore.
There is a net.
No harpoon, though?
No harpoon, but there is a net.
Okay, all right. So I'm just going to basically try and scoop up the net with one arm, and I guess with my other arm scoop up the Brixton.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to start basically booking full speed back to the camp.
Okay.
So by the time I get there, I'm going to do my best to try and take that net and just heave it up there and net the mother.
Okay, so you turn around and you start running with him. Herrick goes ahead and by the way, Brixton, if you wanted to start casting a spell or something, you are under his arm. You can try it. The movement might foil your spell, but you can give it a try.
If he starts waving his arms around, can I basically take his legs in one hand and just sit him on my shoulder and hold him like a kid?
You could, but you could also fastball special him if you wanted to. You think
Could you
might
throw me?
Yeah, you might be able to make it.
Because I got those daggers.
Yeah, I will fastball special.
I'll Wolverine it.
Okay, so you're grabbing him, and Brixton, you're running with him, and all of a sudden you feel John Paul grab you. It's almost like he pins your ankles. He's starting to spin you around like a hammer thrower when he's running towards the.
I'm gonna grab my daggers out.
Okay, you pull your daggers out. It's hard not to lose them from centrifugal force, but you're trying. Herrick, meanwhile, shoots at the magic user with a crossbow and misses cleanly. Brixton, that's you. Agrias, it's your turn. You're this old man walking out. You see this whole thing. It's just like.
What a time to come back.
Right.
Can I... where is it? When touching... Oh, okay. Never mind. I have to touch it. That's not going to work. I'm going to look up, and can I use the spell Identify to see what's going on around him?
No, but you can use Detect Magic to do that.
Let's do that.
Okay. Roll me a percentage die.
Yes, sir. 3.
Agrias, this is what you find active right now. The spell Shield is working in effect right now. The spell Fly is in effect right now. There's a contingency spell that is in effect right now. There is a spell called let's try that again. There is a spell called Rary's Mnemonic Enhancer that is in effect right now, and he is preparing in the midst of another spell, which looks to you like an evocation of some kind, which is usually an offensive spell. Maybe Wall of Fire, you're thinking.
Okay.
Okay. Now it's his turn.
Okay.
And he's going to release Wall of Fire. Anybody out there know why Wall of Fire is one of my favorite spells?
No, but I think you're going to tell us.
No save. Take 23, Ariane. Wall of Fire just runs right, explodes right through the middle of the area. Oh, Patrick, you got an enhancement coming. It runs right through the middle of the group. There was nobody in this group that could have survived this Wall of Fire except for Ariane. You're pretty sure of it. This Wall of Fire just explodes right. These blue, violet, licking flames, but the problem is it's going to cut off help to him because it's kind of curved a little bit. So if you guys want to have a cleric run over there to heal him, it's not going to work. Ariane, your turn. You've got the 2 arrows. Actually, I need you to make me a saving throw, please.
Did I took 20?
Yeah. I need you to make me another saving throw, too.
Okay. 18.
You make the white pitch on your arrow does not explode in the Wall of Fire. You manage to keep it out of the Wall of Fire on that attack. You may roll for your newest attack. 2d20, please.
Can I shoot once and cast Cure Light on myself?
No, you would do one of the either. Or you can shoot twice or cast Pure Light. Ariane. Give yourself 5 back. Your adoring public just gave you a shout out. Well done, Canadian. Okay, you managed to keep the arrows out. Are you going to cast? You have leveling the bow active right now.
I'm going to active, so I should get an automatic hit.
One of them will be
Called shot. Try to get his eyeball.
Okay, and the other one?
And I'm going to try to do that with the white pitch arrow.
Okay, roll me 220s, please.
15 and an 18.
One of the arrows, you guys can all see it from here. One of the arrows is a definite hit. It explodes around him in this fiery, white, flaming burst of light, and you hear him laughing in the middle of the fiery burst of light, just giggling with glee. And the other arrow does not make him giggle with glee. He screams out inside of the fire, "Ah! You hurt me!" he yells. You see everybody that's beneath it, you can see a little bit of blood flowing to the ground, flying in this kind of this torrent towards the ground. The owlbear runs out of your hand as you grab your bow, and she is running underneath one of the caravans for cover. Oh, Fultus's light. Okay, Kalaya, it's your turn. Give yourself back 8, Ariane, thanks to our friend Prometheus, who's given you Fultus's light.
Another 8?
Yep. Agrias,
Okay.
Kalaya, what are you going to do?
Thank you.
I mean, until he's on the ground, I'm just going to keep throwing shurikens.
Please roll me 320.
You got it, boss.
Hey, Strange. It is Brixton.
17, 6, and 5.
Tink, tink. One of them comes right through the roll me d4, please.
D4. 4. 3.
Okay. Okay. Another shuriken hits him in the chest, yells out. You can see part of his robes are ripped, his red robes, in the midst of all this fire. John Paul, roll me a 20.
$16.
Brixton, roll me a 20.
So I gotta unbury my dice from my spell book.
That's okay. Brixton, you go flying through the air when he releases you up in midair. You're flying up at this mage, and he looks like he's totally caught by surprise. He looks shocked, and he's surrounded by fire now. You're flying at this fiery burst in the middle of the air. It looks like a second sun in the sky.
Magnus, what'd you get?
16.
Okay, cool. So now I gotta roll my 20?
Yep.
Oh, man. 17.
Snick.
John Paul, the next time you take damage, ignore 7 points of it. So, we're probably going to be on until about 11. Until about 10:30. Strange. Brixton, you come flying at him, and you're going to attack with your knives.
Yeah, I got my special daggers out, and he's surprised by this, right? This is.
Oh yeah, he looks totally surprised. How is he supposed to expect
this is
a gnome flying up out of the air, off the ground at him? Arion, you're in the middle of this fiery, this huge conflagration all around you, fire, just licking off you. Your skin it's just burning all over you. Your cloak is on fire, and you see Brixton come flying out of John Paul's hands, and you're right on top of him. You stab him with one of your daggers. Actually, roll me another 20 thanks to K&H and Gamers. I'll let you attack twice. Two-handed.
I got 5.
Okay, you hit him once with one of your daggers. You miss with the other one because he's trying to fend you off. Get away from me, you stupid gnome! Roll me your D4.
Do you want my percentile too for this?
No, just D4.
Okay. 1.
Okay, now roll me your percentage die.
There's Brixton!
69.
Okay. You thought you had him square on, but he just manages to get out of the way with the second knife. You cut him wide open on the chest. Blood starts to come out.
Yeah, got him like a fish!
You keep flying just a little bit past him, like 6 feet, and you reach your apogee, and you're starting to go down, and all of a sudden your body starts to drift downwards really slow.
At this point, while I'm falling, I don't know if I can, but I want to pull out my bow.
Okay. Your bow or hand crossbow?
My short bow first.
Okay.
I guess
you have to drop your daggers to do that. Are you all right with that?
I didn't tie those to strings yet.
Are you going to do it or not? Come on, I need an answer.
I'm gonna hand crossbow and hold the daggers in one hand.
Okay, you pull out your hand crossbow. John Paul, you're on the ground. Now you're in position. Next round, you're going to throw the net.
Yeah.
Agrias, you know what's active spell-wise. What will you do?
Is it possible to cast sleep through that?
You think you could cast sleep? Yeah. He might be. The problem is Brixton's so close. He might fall to the ground asleep if you hit him with sleep. It's an area effect, and it doesn't only target friendlies.
Yeah, but that's fine because I still got Featherfall on regardless.
You would still have Featherfall on you.
Okay, let's do that. I'll cast sleep.
Okay. You begin moving your blade back and forth in almost this hypnotic way around it. It almost seems like this black sand starts to fly off the back of the blade as you're trailing it around. Beneath him, Brixton, you're falling down, and you see 2 shots come up from the ground. Bow shots. One of them misses, but another one hits him. Lily and Sunny are underneath there with bows shooting at him.
God.
As you're falling down. Arion. Somebody comes running through, jumps through the wall of fire. You just hear him yell out, grit his teeth, kind of pushes you out of the way of the fire. It's the paladin of Daeron. He's got his shield in his arm. He's holding his shield up. He goes, "I'll cover you. Keep shooting." He's holding up his tower shield, kind of trying to cover over you.
All right.
Blessings of Ralashaz. Somebody just cast it, so he's holding that up over there. Dorian's on fire right now. Herrick is shooting in the meantime at this magic user, and I just rolled a 20. Herrick and max damage you. Herrick shoots his crossbow. "Stop shooting at my boys." Fires a shot up there. Hits him square in the side of the neck. He's like, "Oh!" He curls back. That foils his spell. New round. Arion, your turn.
Who'd have thought a shot to the neck would spoil a spell?
Yeah, who thought that? Arion, your turn.
2 more bow shots and 14.
Okay, roll me 220s.
I'm using obsidian.
Okay, roll me 220s.
14 and a 15.
Okay, there's a hit and a hit. 2d6, please.
Oh, where the hell's my other 6-sider? 5 and a 6.
Oof. Hit. He yells out the last hit. He looks down at you. He says, "This isn't over," and disappears in midair. There's the contingency going off. You guys got him underneath 50% hit points. The air is empty. Quiet. Still flames licking everywhere in the middle of the area.
More cheating!
Brixton, you're slowly floating to the ground, and Lily and Sunny are trying to grab the net from where John Paul is. "Here, catch him! And they're spreading it out, trying to get underneath you.
I tell them get rid of the net before I'm caught in it.
I told you it was a dumb idea. You didn't say that. He put it down. Slowly floating through the air. The wind is starting to carry you a little bit coming to the west. Hey, thanks, Tim. Now it's carrying you a little bit to the east. Back to the west.
Can John Paul run up and jump in the air and grab him like a football?
Sure you can. Kalaya, you're underneath there.
I am the Pordson. I mean, this is like a sporting show.
You're there. Agrias, no one has noticed you there yet, Agrias. So you're still kind of this old man just sitting there. You cast spell with your sleep with your spell, but he's too high level. It didn't affect him.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and it just kind of fizzled on him. So John Paul, you're underneath there. Oh, speaking of which, Arion, after you're done, you're sitting there, you and Dorian's still over you with the shield. After your last couple shots, he's still covering you. Your owlbear's over at you, and she turns around and she starts kicking at the ground, trying to kick snow on you. Because you're still on fire a little bit.
Oh, she was still there. I thought she ran.
She ran underneath, but she came back out underneath now that the guy is gone. She's running over. She's trying to kick snow on you to try and put you a little bit of you out that's on fire. Meanwhile, Dorian looks over at you. He's panning. Are you okay?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
No, not really, he says.
You need anything?
No, but you do. And he reaches out his hand. Take 2 hit points back.
Okay.
You feel it just kind of soothe some of the burn on your arms. Lay on hands from a paladin.
I am going... he doesn't need any healing, though?
He could probably use some, but he looks down over at you. He says, "Is this over yet, or do I need to... are we still under threat, do you think?"
You never know that asshole.
Herrick looks over. He puts his bow back over his shoulder. He goes, "We're not under threat no more. I took care of him." John Paul, meanwhile, you snatch him out of the air. You snatch Brixton out of the air and land down. Oh, thanks, me and Kev. I appreciate it. Yeah, I get animated. I love the combat stuff. Brixton, you feel John Paul is grabbing you out of midair as you're floating to the ground.
Yeah, I'm used to having those. I know what those arms feel like now.
Yeah, you sure do. You sure do.
Like steel cables.
Everything is kind of peacefully calming down now.
So when I grab them out of the air, I don't float down with them, do I?
Oh yeah, you do. You float down with him like you're both as part of like you're holding somebody that's parachuting.
Like I grab him and then I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. You're swaying both ways back and forth. You see the colonel come charging out of his lodge. His daughter. It might not be safe yet, Dad. I don't care what is going on out here. He says, "Who was that?" He points up in the air.
Same guy that's attacked me twice now.
That's a wizard.
He looks over at you. He looks over at Arion. He goes, yeah. He goes, but he's not enough to... You're not enough to kill our Arion! Do you hear me? You're not enough to kill our Arion! He says, yelling up in the air.
Came damn close.
He looks over at you. Somebody, everyone, medical attention to that man right there. Elaine comes running over. He looks over. What are you doing? He yells over at the pirate captain. Don't you have anything that can help him? She looks over, shrugs her shoulders. She goes, you didn't hire me to be a healer. You hired me to be a pirate captain. Mercenaries. He shakes his head. Stomps with his peg leg on the ground. He looks over at Shanna. I demand answers. I want to know who that is. I want to know why he's here. And I want to know what we can do about it. Not necessarily in that order. He looks over at who are you? He looks over at Gedegrias. He points over.
When he says that,
he points over at Agrias, who's standing there. You guys all look over, and there's this wizened old man with a staff standing there that none of you have seen. Gray hair, just kind of...
Do I recognize any features that might...
Not a thing, not a tip-off.
I get ready to throw Brixton at him.
Uh-huh.
Oh, perfect.
I get ready to throw Brixton at him.
Oh, man.
Brixton, you're falling out of midair. John Paul is positioning you like a torpedo.
I'm gonna grab my daggers out again.
Okay.
It worked pretty well the last time.
Arion, you see Dorian set his shield in the ground, chunks it into the frozen earth, right between you and it. He goes, I got you covered again. He holds it up between you and this new wizard old man. Agrias, what are you going to do?
I'm a little lost. I am looking for the one that is called Herrick.
Herrick looks over at you. He's got his crossbow over. He goes, you just found him, and you found an assload of trouble too, buddy. He says, hands up right now, or you're wearing one of these between the eyes.
Question.
Yeah.
When he spoke, is the voice recognizable?
It sounds like somebody putting on a kind of a bad accent to you. He holds up his bow. Hands up, or I'm putting one of these right between your eyes. Do it!
So I put my hands up and I go, I think I still owe you 20 gold for the gnome, right?
Oh, Agrias, is that you? Puts up his...
I'm a friend.
Everybody, don't shoot him yet. Don't shoot him yet.
I whisper to Magnus, toss me.
Are you going to do it?
Yeah.
John Paul, roll me a 20.
Yeah, like John Paul would hesitate.
Now I heard this interaction, right?
12.
Okay.
12? Brixton, you go sailing through the air like a lightning bolt at Agrias. Agrias, what are you going to do? He's on his way.
Well, I am, of course, going to wait for him just to get his daggers over me, grab him by the waist, and flicker from behind everybody.
I see.
Okay, roll me, Brixton, roll me a 2 20s, please.
Well, I wasn't going to stab him with the daggers. I was going to drop them mid-flight.
Okay.
Good save there, boy.
Brixton, you're in mid-flight, you drop the daggers. You still going to do it, Agrias?
Yeah.
Okay. Brixton, you come flying over to him. He grabs you by the waist, and all of a sudden you feel your whole body pulled backwards into and down like you're sucked into this vortex into Agrias' shadow. You fall down through the earth, and for a second you feel nothing but cold all around you. You see nothing but absolute darkness. You hear like these echo whispers all around you of everyone's voices, like they're turned inside out. And then you explode back up into the light like you're surfacing out of water all of a sudden. He's still holding you, and you're looking from behind. You're looking over his shoulder at the palisade wall. Because now he's facing everybody from behind.
Yeah.
Kalaya, you and Melina both feel something very weird happen in the shadow again. Arion, you don't even know what the hell happened at first until Solveig turns around all of a sudden. She starts growling towards the palisade wall, making this real mean face. Can I turn over your shoulder? Agrias is standing there holding...
Can I say I owe you a brandy?
All right, I'm going to let the disguise dispel.
Yeah, okay. He looks over at you. He goes, Paylor preserved me. I thought you were with him, man. You got a hell of a time for a practical joke. Because the fire's not even out.
Oh, can I be in the shade somewhere, Carlos?
You're in the shade of the palisade wall.
Okay, good. And I just say, well, it's good to be back, guys.
And since I noticed him drop, I'll stand
No.
I'll put a hand out and make for the paladin. I can't remember what his name is.
Yeah, Dorian. He pulls up his shield, puts it on his back.
I walk up to Agrias with trying to control my little owlbear.
Agrias, you see this owlbear. He picks up this owlbear cub in his arms. It's a white snowy owl, like a polar bear kind of owlbear. Arion his cloak is singed, his armor singed. You can see pieces of his flesh underneath his armor. A little bit of it's charred up a bit. Hey, Von Malkiel, good to see you. Oh, hey, that's awesome. You see a little bit of char on the flesh over there. Matthew, you're there with Agrias. You can see it as well. John Paul, everybody seems to know this guy, Agrias. I don't think your character's met him yet.
Oh, we haven't.
No, so you're all standing there in the middle of this area where the fight went. The fire is still out. Some of the workers are taking snow and they're trying to put out the fire that's raging in the middle of the area.
I'm still kind of tense until Agrias puts Brixton down.
Okay, yeah, he puts him down on the ground.
I'm gonna chuck him at Sonny and Lily.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Agrias, you try and sweep him up and throw him. You're not nearly the brute that John Paul is, so this might be a little hard, but you're going to try. Make me a 20, please.
Yes, sir.
You don't got those undertow dice.
Oh, I
know, right?
Thank God.
He
probably critical you and kill you.
18.
All right. Brixton, you're kind of at ease for a second. All of a sudden you feel start snatching up off the ground and you're whizzing in the air again, and you're heading towards Lily and Sunny. Lily said, get the net again! They try and pick up the net. Lily just kind of throws it up in the air in front of her, like squeaks and throws it up in the air. Brixton, you go careening through the air. You hit this net, and it kind of snags you a little bit. You're about ready. You think you're going to hit the ground hard, but you slow down before you hit the ground. And you're wrapped in this net.
I feel like we're going to start playing football with me or something.
You probably will.
Yeah, we already are.
Everything is calm. You're standing there, Arion, walking towards Agrias. John Paul, you've seen this whole thing where Brixton now is wrapped in the net, and Lily and Sonny are there.
I'm gonna pick up my daggers.
Okay, Lily is like, before you can get up there, she's like, get the net off of him, get the net off of him. So they start unnetting you a bit. Brixton, that was so cool. The way that John Paul grabbed you, he threw you up in the air, and you were like a lightning bolt coming up out of the air. No, he's like a crossbow bolt. No, a lightning bolt. A crossbow bolt. A lightning bolt. You were like a bolt going up from in midair, like a little gnomish bolt. And he cut him up with your daggers. I saw the one you hit him in the back. Arion, you're over there with Agrias in the meantime.
As I walk up to him, I introduce him to Solveig, and Solveig to him. And as I do that, I pull out that little amulet I carved for him.
Mm-hmm.
I show it to her, point it, and give it to him.
She's sniffing at Agrias. Agrias, you're looking at her. She has these. You know how owls' eyes are. She has those little beady eyes like an owl would, like a barred owl would, or I should say a great snowy owl would, but hers are this bright blue color. And I need you to roll me a 20.
Me or Agrias?
Agrias.
2.
There is no doubt in your mind that's the exact color Solveig's eyes were before she died. And sniffing you at your arm, and you hold up the amulet, and she sniffs it, looks at you. Just kind of makes this little purring, like this little owl coo noise looking up at you, and then kind of recoils back into Arion's arms.
I tell her friends, and then I hand him that amulet.
Agrias, he hands you an amulet. Meanwhile, Brixton, John Paul, what are you going to do?
Is he unnetted?
He's unnetted now.
All right. I guess I'll walk up and introduce myself to Agrias.
Okay. Agrias, as you're getting this amulet, John Paul, this man mountain of a Sul barbarian, walks up to you. He is massive. Nothing but corded muscle. You see what I did there? Corded muscle.
Yeah,
he goes walking up to you. Please play how you want to do.
Another person who loves to play Brixton ball. I hold out my hand to shake it.
Uh-huh.
I shake his hand. Well met, my friend.
Well met! You seem to be popular around here. And that was quite an entrance with being threatened with crossbow in the face.
Herrick has a tendency to do that with almost anyone that enters this camp.
And after him hitting that wizard that was flying around like a stupid cheater, I could see that he could hit too.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of cheaters either. I think we're going to get along great.
I introduced John Paul and Agrias to each other and explained that John Paul, both of them were where they came into being in our group. Okay.
Yeah, so you guys are doing the introductions and everything like that. I will go ahead and I'll hand wave a little bit of that so you guys can do, your introductions are done. By the way, thank you for joining us, Lurgasamba. We appreciate it. Everybody gets a chance to meet one another. I would imagine afterwards you guys would have your breakfast. Lily and Sonny make breakfast for you. Elin casts Cure Light on Arion, giving him back 6.
Okay, I was going to do that myself too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And she's the topic of conversation over breakfast is, who in the hell was that guy? Herrick is the first one to ask, of course, because he's just so brusque. He just comes out with it. Who in the hell was that guy?
I explained to him. Do you remember you weren't there specifically, but you were in Caverns Cove when the Widow Granville's house got torched?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember. I remember her house catching on fire, but people were talking about it, but nobody seemed to know what happened.
Well, basically, that was who did it.
Oh, I got you. Hey, wait a second. Is that the same guy that,
American Einar.
Yeah.
He's
I heard,
actually,
I heard about that. He made a face.
He did the same thing to us on the river, and that's where American Einar are now not with us so far.
He shakes his head.
He burnt half my face.
He looks over at you, Brixton. As you say that, Lily and Sonny just both kind of get a little shudder when you say that. All right, so what? He looks over at Agrias. Now that you're back, buddy, what are we going to do about this guy?
First things first, let's get Arion set up in his quarters so he can get some rest. And I think we should also, finish putting out whatever fires are still, flaming.
She looks over at, Melina looks over at Kalaya. Come on, let's go ahead and take care of the quarters. She stands up and walks over towards his where his lodge is. Agrias, hey, listen, now that you're back and you're in charge of stuff, that girl over there, the one that's walking away, she was saying that she wants to investigate the tunnels underneath here. I don't think it's a good idea, but she somehow convinced the colonel that it was okay.
Did she ask you why?
No, she didn't say nothing about it. I think she's just... The colonel, I think he gives his trust up way too easy, man. He seems to be like, as long as you're with us, you must have a good reason.
Well, who is it? Wait, Carlos, do I know who Kalaya is?
Roll me a 20.
18.
Oh, you remember Kalaya.
Okay.
Kalaya was, she was a student of the Tenebrous Hand. Kalaya, it always seemed like Winter's hand the Hand of Winter had a particular shine to that one. Like maybe grooming her for an eventual role within the organization.
Okay.
But listen, we got bigger problems at hand. He goes, I don't know if we can expect to be attacked again by this guy, but the colonel wanted to set off today. We're hitting the ocean today.
Who all is going?
I thought all you guys were going. Hell, I thought I was going. Somebody's got to stay back and defend the fortification, Dorian says, looking over at Herrick. He says, yeah, but I'm Agrias' boy. He'll take me.
And
you, on the other hand, you're probably going to stick around with the rest of these riffraff. I got bigger fish to fry.
I look at Herrick and I go, it troubles me that she's so interested in what's going on underneath. There has to be a reason. She didn't say anything to you or why she was so curious about it?
No, you want me to grab her and bring her back here, rough her up a little?
No, let her and her sister come back. I get the feeling there's going to be a bit of a conversation among us.
Hold on, man. I'm getting ahead of myself. Arion, are you okay, man? He hit you a couple times pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm doing okay now. I'm gonna cast a cure light on myself though.
He kind of looks over at John Paul for a second. Kind of makes a little bit of a face. He goes, pretty good throw you made.
Yes!
Brixton, roll me a 20.
Shot you made, my friend.
14.
At first, you could detect a lot of jealousy in the way he said that. But when John Paul said that about the shot, he kind of makes a smile. It kind of seems to go away a bit. You get the impression that maybe he doesn't like being the second strongest guy in the group now. And now that he said that, maybe he's like, okay, maybe this guy's okay.
Who's this?
This was Herrick.
Okay.
And John Paul.
I wanna pat his shoulder and say, start hitting the gym.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna need to. He goes, I guess I'm gonna need to. He goes, either that, he goes, or I'm gonna take your spot as our top sniper. Present company accepted, of course. He looks over at Ariana.
I give him a wink.
He says, listen, you guys, seeing what happened over there, you guys have gotten pretty good. I mean, hell, Brixton, I didn't think you would have never been able to do that when we first met. And Arion, he's on fire and he's shooting this guy, filling him full of arrows, and you got this guy over here who could pick up the broadside of a mountain. Guys, it was pretty good. Gotta tell you, I don't impress easy, but I was pretty impressed.
You're not doing too shabby yourself, there.
Yeah, but my skills are getting rusty. All I've been doing is training these little girls here how to shoot. So I guess maybe that's why the crossbow worked out pretty good. Anyway,
I appreciate it, Herrick.
Hey, no problem. You guys have been good to me, and
I'm going to cure light on me just in case he does pop in again.
Okay.
Do you want to roll for?
I did take 6 back.
Okay.
He goes. You guys have been really good to me, and we're all part of something, right? I mean, we're a team, and just want to make sure that you guys are okay. That's all. It's good to have you back, Agrias, man. Says it's tough being in charge here when you're gone.
I think it looks like you've done all right, my friend.
Dorian kind of laughs a bit. He goes, "You mean co-in charge?" He pats him on the back. Goes, "Yeah, I meant co-in charge." He rolls his eyes a bit at you, Agrias, so you can only see it.
I look at Herrick and Dorian and I go, well, there's only one way to decide who's in charge. A drinking contest.
The paladin looks over at him, says,
Ron Paul perks up.
Says, "I accept," Dorian says. "Finally, we'll have this out. We'll have this out for once and for all." Herrick looks at you. He says, "All right, but I want to do something different."
Okay.
Me and Agrias on one team, John Paul and you on the other. He points over at Dorian, and he says, "And Brixton and the girls on a third team."
I don't need to fight for in charge here.
Don't you want to? You always like the boss people around. I figured maybe you would want something.
Because we really know who's the brains of this operation, Herrick.
That's right, we do.
And so, that's Brixton telling you that. That's a statement all in itself.
What do you say?
No, it's between you and Dorian.
Well, the big guy wants to drink. Look at him. You could tell he does. Look at his eyes.
Okay, well, how about this? The winner has to drink against John Paul.
I accept, Dorian says, looking at him. Herrick looks over at you, looks at John Paul, looks over, says, "This should be easy enough. Let's do this. What are we drinking?"
You wouldn't want to lose twice, would you, Herrick?
Well, I'm not gonna lose twice. He says, "I'm planning on winning twice." So what are we drinking? He looks over at Agrias. Not that gnomish brandy again, are we?
Oh, indeed we are. It's the strongest we got.
Oh, man, he puts his head back.
Gnomish brandy is that made out of like tree piss and like gerbil poop. I mean, how do you make gnomish brandy?
When
I look over at Arion and I go, "Where did you guys find him?"
I say you get a bunch of gnomes and you squeeze the juices out of them.
When I was studying tactics under General Prasadia,
like you're made of sugar.
Dorian says, "I remember them saying one time that a group of gnomes once held a fortification by pouring a river of brandy in a hallway and setting it on fire, and it burned for 4 days consecutively."
Hogwash! Good one!
He looks over at you. He says, "I wish I was kidding." Agrias? By the way, you've just been helped by Canadian Gamer. Are you in on this drinking now?
Oh, me?
You just were helped by Canadian Gamer. Are you going to join?
It's like you got your first round, man.
I'll drink winner. How about that?
All right, let's do it. Ariane, meanwhile, Elin is over there. She's putting moss and stuff on your wounds, trying to bind them. She says, whispers in your ear, Ariane. She says, I have something that if they really want to drink, we can do it seriously. I almost feel bad that I almost feel like it's sacrilege against my goddess to allow them to drink that.
As she says that, so don't worry about the burns and everything. I've got that. I can put my arm around her and says, let's go join them. Bring your stuff.
Shrugs. Okay. Grias, everybody's kind of gathering around the fire. Go ahead.
Was that Elin?
Yeah, it was Elin.
Okay, I'm going to walk up to her after she speaks with
Ariane.
Well, she's with me right now. I'm dragging her toward everybody.
Yep. Oh, perfect. That's fine. And I hand her a bag, and I say, these need to grow around the camp as much as possible.
As soon as she takes it from your hands, instantly the past meets the future. You can feel that flash of realization, that moment in your head where your prophecy is made real. Wow, she says, what are these? She reaches down, touches them. Ooh. Lets some of the seed flow through her fingers. This will be interesting.
What are they?
They're seeds, she says, looking at Ariane.
Oh, yeah, I got that, but what seeds of what?
Seeds that are going to help us be victorious, my friend.
Flowers. Agrias, before I begin this...
I have one, please.
I don't see why not. She looks over at you, Agrias. Before I do anything, do you know of Rainmar? What's happened to him?
Yes, he is held up in a temple getting together reinforcements for us.
He's doing well, though.
He is fine. Is something wrong?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Patrick, just the look on her face and the way she said it, you can tell right away.
Yeah.
You can tell right away. Listen, I have some libations for the group for this contest. As you know, I am a druid of Wenta, the goddess of the fall and autumn. She's also the goddess of the brew. She says, I'll be right back.
I bet that will be better than gnome piss.
She looks over at you. She says,
Jesus Christ.
I have two things. One of them for strength and one of them for taste. She leaves over. Agrias, you see Kalaya and Melina starting to return out of your lodge.
Oh, my lodge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Melina said that they were going to put it together. As they're coming back, the men, by the way, are almost done putting out the fire. You can see there's a crater where that first fireball hit in the ground, probably about maybe 4.5 feet deep. Melina, as you're walking by, you can see a tiny crack down the middle of that stone cap over top that they'd placed over the tunnels below.
Mm-hmm.
You're walking back to the group. John Paul, you and Brixton are sitting there with Agrias, Ariane. Kalaya and Melina come back. Melina tells you, you're all set, Agrias.
Thank you, Melina.
She reaches over and she touches your chest, your armor. You've done it, haven't you?
Yes.
She looks over at her sister, Kalaya. You're not really sure what she's talking about because you don't have any footing in this whole prismatic chrysanthemum thing. But she looks like she saw a ghost. Brixton, you and John Paul are sitting there watching the druid walk out of her lodge, and she's got a couple of the guys, the workers there, and they're bringing out these kegs of what can only be, these wooden kegs of what can only be grog of some kind. It looks to you like a lot of people are coming off of the boat, the ship that's out there. These hard-looking sailors are coming out of there. They're all talking amongst each other. There's gold exchanging hands. They're all coming over. Agrias. Elin comes back to you and Arion. She puts the one keg down, puts another one down. She says, this one I was saving for when we're victorious. The best I could possibly make. This one, on the other hand, well, our friend was talking about a defense, and I figured if we ever ran out of oil, she pats it. She says, but it's all perfectly drinkable, too. It's just very strong. Herrick says, bring them on, I don't care which.
I look over at Arion and I go, I think the latter, my friend. We should save the one for when we are victorious.
I think so too.
Yes.
All right. Which one of you guys is betting on me? And which one of you guys is betting on the paladin?
Oh, man. I'm gonna... Oh, this is probably a really bad idea. But...
When have you ever had a good idea, Brixton?
I'm gonna pull out my cup, hand it to Herrick, and I say, roll the dice on who I'm betting for.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Pulls out, picks up the dice, looks at him.
Does John Paul recognize those dice?
You recognize the dice. So does Kalaya. So does Arion. What? What's wrong? He goes, these things aren't loaded, are they? He looks over at you, Brixton.
I don't make a noise until he's rolled them.
And friggin' and Dorian looks at him. He goes, "Are you frightened?" No, I'm not scared of nothing. You're betting on the paladin. He says and hands you the dice back.
I'm gonna bet the roll between him and Dorian. I'm gonna say pass them to Dorian and Dorian roll. And whoever
Dorian
got
shrugs his shoulders. He takes the dice. He rolls them. He says, "Whoever is next then is betting on him." I suppose that's you, John Paul.
I'm going to say, no, this is between you two, and I'm going to scoop the dice up in the cup.
Okay.
Who got higher?
Actually, it was 6 and 5, so it would actually be Dorian that rolled higher.
Dorian rolled higher? Mm-hmm. And okay. I'm gonna put down, like, I'm going to say my money's on Dorian.
Herrick looks at you, he goes, "That is the first betrayal right there." Shakes his head.
I just shrug. He rolled higher, and then I want to go talk to the colonel. So I'm gonna.
Okay, you walk away. The pirate captain sits over by Arion. She's got her parasol up, snow drifting on there. She looks over. She goes, "Hello." She says, "You look a bit crispy."
Just wanted to warm up in the morning hours.
You make some very interesting friends.
Oh, you have no idea.
The keg gets tapped. John Paul, are you in on this?
Yeah.
Okay. The beginning, it begins right now. I need you to roll me a 20. And keep your 20 out, because there's going to be a few of these. What'd you roll?
16.
Okay, you roll. It is multiple fourth walls, Grandelwolf. Okay. This stuff tastes like... Okay. This stuff somehow tastes like if you took fire and you made it into a liquid. This is what it would taste like, with a subtle hint of juniper in it. Like kind of a piney taste to it. It's strong. I mean, this stuff will knock your underwear off. They make something like this in Fireland. that you know of. Your people talk about it, called kvasha, which they make out of like a juniper. So this may actually be kvasha, you think. It's hard to tell. But the first mug of it goes down pretty good. Herrick takes his. He looks over at Dorian. Dorian takes his, doesn't even blink. Next. Oh, we got a game one here, John Paul. Kind of elbows over at him. Brixton, you're over with the Colonel. The Colonel's looking out the window at this going on, and Shauna is standing there. And you open the door, and this is what they're saying. Shauna looks over at you. She goes, "Are those fools really having a drinking contest before we set out onto the ocean?"
To me?
Yeah, she looks at you and says that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
Dad,
everybody's drinking.
Dad, you have to stop them. They're going to be seasick the whole time. No, let them. Let the boys. They know their limits. They're accomplished warriors. I have nothing but the utmost faith in them. Brixton, my boy, puts his hand on your shoulder.
Colonel, can I have a map of where the raft is? I might be joining you later.
He looks at his daughter. They look at him. I can show you where we're going to go on the map, yes, but, he says, and kind of pauses for a long time. As you know, there are several other rival adventuring companies that are probably vying for this information. You have to be certain this doesn't fall into anyone else's hands.
It won't.
Shauna, give him the map. Okay, so we're making lots of bad choices today. She says, and she walks over across the room. John Paul, another 20, please.
5.
5. Second one you make. Yeah, this stuff is really strong. It's hitting you pretty good. Herrick kind of wipes his mouth off. Dorian looks over at him, doesn't look phased, really. Next, another 20. Ooh.
Got a 15.
Catch your second wind. You're getting used to this. There's a little bit of like stardust in the corner of your eyes right now. Herrick wipes his mouth off. The paladin's kind of hanging his head a little bit. What's wrong, Dorian? Thought you wanted to be in charge of this.
I am questioning my life choices.
Carlos, question for
You
you.
and me both, he says. Huh?
Question for you.
Please.
I'm observing who of the three, who's all drinking again?
Dorian, the paladin, Herrick, and John Paul.
I sort of put my head over toward Captain.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put 50 gold against yours to jump for John Paul to win. Basically, to be left standing.
He looks over. He goes, and you hear a voice from behind you, Ariane. It's Nelson, the guy who had the wedding caravan, the driver. He goes, I want some of that action. He goes, I'm with Ariane. Hey, the other guy looks at him. Goes, all right, I got 50 I got 50 on him. He points over at Herrick. In the meantime, you see the paladin, Agrias. He leans over to Lily. He goes, please give these back to your master. He goes, I don't want to lose them. He hands her the dice.
I already scooped them up.
You did, and you're okay.
Yeah, I'm not letting those. Yeah, I don't let those go, man.
Okay, John Paul.
I see what you're doing.
Another 20.
I got a 3.
John Paul, you are screwed up right now. After the keg is about half gone, you are messed up right now. I mean, the whole world is kind of spinning around a little bit. You're this close to throwing up.
All right.
Dorian, yeah, go ahead, Agrias.
I'm going to have Kalaya walk up to the table.
Mm-hmm. By the way, everything has been done. Everybody put the table right in the middle of the crater. And everybody is ringed around the crater.
Jesus. For Kalaya, I'm going to have her look at the keg and be like, how many do I need to catch up with?
Kalaya looks over at you. Or Kalaya, it's probably about 10 drinks, you figure. 10, 15.
And the winner gets to me.
John Paul, you feel like you're catching your second wind. You feel like things are, maybe you're coming around after all. Me and Kev just gave you 100. Okay, so what are you going to do? Agrias, you going to catch up?
Yeah, Kalaya's going to take part in the drinking and try and catch up.
Kalaya's going to do it.
Kalaya, yeah.
Oh my. John Paul, you see Kalaya walking down the slope of this crater, sits at the table. Melina looks at you. She goes, she's not really my sister. She's adopted. You hear yell.
As soon as like she's within 5 or 6 feet where I can see her and not everything's blurred, I like make room for her. And almost knock the table over. But you know.
I believe you have a seat right here, Dorian says. Dorian, meanwhile, gets the next one in. He looks at you two. Looks perfectly normal. And then turns over and throws his guts up all over the bottom of the crater.
It's like college.
Yeah.
He just kind of puts his head down on the table. He goes, that's one, Herrick says, looking over at Kalaya. Catch up, girlie. Gonna show you how a man drinks.
I look at John Paul and say, order up, and I'm going to take all 10 drinks back to back.
Give me four 20s.
All right.
You see what I did there? Anyway.
So subtle, Carlos. So subtle. 5, 15, and 20.
One more. You got one more coming.
Oh, one more? 1. Ooh.
Kalaya, you were fine until that last one.
Which is really the story of our lives.
Okay. Kalaya, you're getting there. Because you had him so fast, you're like, okay, I'm fine. And then when you take that last drink, it hits you like an absolute hammer. You go from perfectly fine to, I think I have alcohol poisoning that fast. Are you going to... Yeah, you don't really have a choice. John Paul, she sits there, and where do you want to throw up, Kalaya?
Well, I'm sitting on John Paul's lap, so I'm gonna go to turn behind, but I'm probably gonna get some of his face as I turn behind us.
Roll me a 20, John Paul.
I got a 15.
The smell almost takes you out too.
Yeah.
But Kalaya passes out over on your shoulder. You have to turn her head to make sure she doesn't pull a Jimi Hendrix. Excuse me while I puke and die. So she it's all down the front of her tabard and her robes. Oh, it's just she's a mess. She's an absolute sloppy mess.
Yeah,
like I make a show of like very gingerly trying to like move her hair out of the way of it.
Okay.
Such a gentleman.
Bricks, John Paul's an utter rock. Okay. Herrick and you are the only ones left. All right, new guy. You and me. Let's keep her going. Go ahead, roll me another 20, John Paul.
So it's just me and Herrick?
You and Herrick. Dorian's done. He passed out.
I got a 18.
Herrick he's wobbling. He's at the table wobbling. He's doing that thing where you're breathing kind of deep. You can see he keeps licking his lips.
I get ready to move Kalaya.
He's doing his thing. He's like barely hanging on. He looks up. He goes, "Come on!" He says to the people around the top. He goes, "You don't want the new guy being in charge." Yeah, but you don't want the old guy being in charge either. You hear him yelling. They're all cheering back and forth. When Lynn looks over at you, she says, "Wenta weeps." Just shakes her head, looking over at you. Brixton, meanwhile, you walked out of the main thing with the lodge with your map in tow, and you see this. Basically, they've taken the crater, they put a table in the middle of it, they've surrounded it. There's probably about maybe a quarter-inch pool at the bottom of a crater of vomit that is now collected there from Dorian and Agrias. Make me another 20. Yeah, you got that.
Agrias?
Another 20?
12.
20 for here. Both hang on. Getting to the bottom of the barrel. Give me one more. Brixton, you're over at the edge now. You see the last guy that had the dice passed out, cold.
Now, sorry, does that not affect everybody who has the dice, or just the
It
last
does.
one?
It does.
Okay.
One.
Yeah.
You and Herrick both at the same time blow massive chunks because I rolled a 3. You both at the same time all over each other. The only difference is you manage to stay awake. He passes out cold at the table on top of Dorian. So you got 3 unconscious people there at the bottom with you. You're barely hanging on. You got this. Everybody's cheered at the top. Money's changing hands. I can't believe I bet against him. Ariane, you get your money. Nelson gets his money. He looks over at you. Ariane, I really wasn't betting with you as much as I was betting against him. He points over at Eric. John Paul, you're awake. You don't think you can move.
I don't want to. The rest of the world is moving enough. I don't need to.
This is what you hear from the top of the crater. Shanna's voice. Okay, now, who wants to go out onto the ocean? All sarcastic.
Well, let's go. So get some greasy eggs and bacon and everything else on there and start eating.
I guess this means both Herrick and Dorian are staying behind.
Well, they're not going anywhere right now. You hear Shanna say, looking over at you, Brixton. She goes, I don't think he's going anywhere either. Neither's the woman. Melina says, I'll take care of my sister. My idiot sister. My idiot braggart of a sister. She says down there into the as if Kalaya could hear her into the crater.
Oh yeah, she's just drooling on John Paul and puking. Yeah,
it's pretty nasty, John Paul.
Is there what do I need to roll to struggle to like stand up?
Make me a 20.
Take her to the ocean to clean us up.
Make me a 20.
That is a 19.
You guys watch John Paul put her over his shoulders, like he's getting ready to do a squat with her over the shoulders, and he starts crawling up the side, crawling on all fours up the side of the crater. You see his fingers come over the top of it. A little bit of sod, frozen sod, crumbles under his fingers. Pulls himself up to the top. His eyes are so bloodshot and effed up. Arion, you're right there where he goes, when he comes up out of the crater. His breath is so strong that the baby owlbear recoils all of a sudden.
I probably still have chunks in my beard.
Oh, massive chunks all over in his beard. He crawls out, doesn't even say anything, just keeps going towards the water. He looks like a turtle with her over his arms, over his back, coming towards the shore.
That was like Brixton and Caverns Cove.
Oh, it was even worse. Even worse. So, Agrias, all these fools over here, you got half of your crew lit up drunk. Kalia's passed out. Melina's walking with John Paul and her. Melina's berating her unconscious body as they're going towards the water. What's the crew gonna do now? The team gonna do?
I'm gonna find Brixton and Arion.
They're all right there at the lip with you.
I take half of my winnings and give them to what I can't remember the druid's name.
Ilin.
Here's for supplies to make more.
She laughs a bit.
This is your stock.
She laughs a little bit. Sounds good. I think that's a fair trade. Agrias, she leans forward.
A little bit of a laugh after this morning.
She leans forward. What's the plan, Agrias?
Well, who's all around me again?
You, Ilin, Nelson, Brixton, and Arion. Everybody else is either passed out or crawling towards the water. Okay. Oh, and Shanna. Shanna's there as well. Hey, Greyhawk Mike, good to see you, buddy.
I'm going to look at Arion and Brixton and ask, you guys are both going on the raft, yes?
Yes.
Soon,
okay. I want you to take Kalia.
I'll catch up with Aurora.
Okay. Okay. I want you guys to take a Kalia with you.
Where are you going?
Something doesn't bode well with her curiosity about being underneath the fortress.
Why take her with us at all then, Agrias? The druid says.
Because I have a good idea who she's either helping or trying to help us defend against. First of all, how long has she been with you guys?
She looks over at you, Arion and Brixton. Ilin does.
After you guys left the tower to go to the temple.
He came to meet as far. I think we were there. She showed up
when we came back from meeting with you guys.
So she must have shown up after I
showed up like right after, and I sort of give a sort of a half grin at Grace after the pale-faced bitch pulled us out of a shadow.
And he has no idea, Agrias.
Of course not. And I just say, a little nicer on that silver tongue of yours, friend.
That's why I gave you a wink.
Yeah. And I smile and I say, okay, so she showed up after I disappeared without Romina then.
Yeah.
Has she tried to kill anyone, assassinate anyone, try and charm anyone?
Charm? I think only in friendly ways. She swooned John Paul pretty well.
Well, the pirate captain kind of comes up with her parasol. She puts it down. She slept with John Paul. She tried to kill her sister once. That was fun. What else has she tried to do?
I didn't know if we really knew what that was going on with the...
You guys didn't. That's why she's saying all this stuff.
Yeah.
She knows all of this stuff because she's been sitting here collecting information the whole time.
Yeah.
I think that's about it, Agrias. By the way, welcome back.
Thank you. And I give her a hug.
Mm-hmm. Gives you a little bit of a hug.
Rangmar sends his regards, by the way.
Oh, very good. She looks over and smiles at Ilin. Ilin gives her this withering look.
And I, of course, am acting like I have no idea what that's about.
Acting.
Yeah. Yes, Brixton.
I have a one. I'm not Brick.
Oh, Aaron.
Thank goodness.
You wish. You wish for me.
I don't like gnomes. But I was wondering when she said something about trying to kill her sister.
Thanks, Canadian Gamer.
I don't think that would sit real well with me. One being cleric, two being neutral good, but still good aligned.
Well, you see, the thing is that makes this a little complicated. The captain says is her sister knows she tried to kill her, but they made up over it. I guess she got sent here by somebody to kill her, and she had second thoughts and didn't go through with it. So either she's a coward, a traitor, or she's your friend. I'm not really sure which.
Or all three. I look at the captain and wink.
Or all three. She smiles. John Paul, you are so drunk that on the edge of the water there looks like a horse made completely out of water that's looking at you.
Oh, God.
It's made completely out of water, and it's sitting there on its forelegs looking at you guys. It looks completely like it's made out of water. You are so loaded. That's what when it snorts, and kind of little sea foam comes out.
I've seen a lot of stuff, and this is not the most shocking thing. So as long as it's not coming at me, we're fine.
Right.
Maybe
Going back to the other guys for a second, Brixton. You're with everyone else. The higher captain says, seriously, that's all I know.
I'm gonna say I'm just gonna ask to be excused.
Go ahead, Brixton.
Thank you. I'm gonna go to my basement quarters.
Okay, you go into your basement quarters. Agrias, you are there with Arion and the rest still. Well, I still really haven't heard a plan yet, Alin says. So where are we all going with everyone but Brixton and Kalaya, and John Paul is going on the raft. So Melina is coming with us.
Melina's going with you, Kalaya, John Paul, Brixton, and Arion.
Wait. Going with you. You mean you're not going?
No.
Why?
I don't trust what Kalaya is curious about under the fortress.
Are you going to kill her then?
No. I think as long as her sister's around her, she'll behave. But Arion, if something goes awry, I wouldn't hesitate to put a knife at her throat.
So Kalaya is going with us?
Yes.
In this shape that she's in?
Yes. She'll recover fast.
Is John Paul going to come with us?
Yes.
She looks over at Arion and kind of chuckles a bit. I can't wait to see this.
And someone needs to pick up Darian.
I have
about that. What about Herrick and Darian?
How soon are we leaving?
Today, like in a couple hours, she says.
Okay, in a couple hours. I asked Agrias, are you planning going to check something out in those tunnels immediately, or what?
I would say more fortify than check out, my friend. Let's just say I have a book to read that'll help.
If we're not leaving immediately, if you would like a little bit of maybe do I remember them telling anything about what they had found down in there, or were we already split up at that time?
You were split up, but you have learned since then what they found.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think Herrick would have notified you guys.
You got it, Mark.
Well, he's passed out. He needs to shut up. No, what I was saying is, like, I've gotten a little bit more input and such into undead lately. I was wondering if I've got the time and you would let me to, I'd like to maybe go along with you and maybe scope it out and try to get a bearing on it, possibly.
Agrias?
That definitely wouldn't hurt.
At least give you, if I can figure something, maybe I can,
Elin says, if that's how we're going to do this, then I suggest we try and convince the Everins to wait one more day, and we should all go.
This is why Rangmar speaks so highly of you, Elin.
The pirate captain looks over at her and smiles. She looks over at the pirate captain, looks back at you. He does?
Yes. But I must go notify the colonel that we need another 24 hours. In the meantime, Elin, as soon as you can work on those seeds, I would appreciate it.
I will.
I think that'd probably be a good idea. That way, and
the last thing you hear, Agrias, as you walk away, that's why Raymar felt so high. Can't you hear sarcasm when you can't you tell sarcasm when you hear it? All I know is what he said.
I love Elin. I wouldn't mess with Elin.
Brixton, you're heading down towards your basement area. Sonny and Lily come running up to you. Can we come to you?
Where am I?
You're heading towards your basement area. You're heading towards your lodge.
And nobody knows about it. Right?
Lily and Sonny are asking you, what are you going to do then?
I say I need you guys to go on the boat tomorrow on the raft.
Tomorrow? I thought we were going today.
Or, well, I say I need you guys to go on the raft, and I'll be there soon.
No, that's not how this is going to work, because you promised me. You promised me, Lily says. It puts her finger right in your face. You promised me you wouldn't leave me alone again like that.
I won't be gone, but...
No. You're not going to be gone. You made me a promise.
Agrias needs me to do something for him. I can't take you guys. It's under his orders.
I told you, son. He says, looking at her. I told you that he wouldn't do it.
No. I'll be back on the boat for you two.
Lily starts crying, turns around, walks away.
Oh, man.
Sonny looks at you and just... if looks could kill, you'd be making a saving throw right now. And she turns around and walks over with her sister.
Do you guys want to come with me?
They're gone.
Oh, well, I can get them. They're not fast.
You're gonna go after them?
Can the three of us fit on the hippocampus?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I can say, okay, do you guys want to come with me? It's not going to be safe.
Yeah. I do. I do. Sonny looks over at you and she just nods. Yeah, I want to come too.
Okay. Get your stuff ready. We're leaving.
Okay. She turns around and walks out. By the way, everybody out there watching us on Twitch, Brixton is blurred right now because you're seeing through Lily vision right now, and that's all you can see through the tears right now.
What a bunch of divas. Oh my god.
In the meantime, Brixton, what are you going to do? Right. You're going to go back into the downstairs area. Yes?
Yeah, can I memorize the raft location on the map and then burn the map?
Yes.
Because I want to respect what the colonel said, but I want to make sure that I can commit it to memory.
Yes.
And can I also code a map? Can I make a coded map just in case?
Roll me a percentage die.
61.
You feel like you did a pretty good job.
Okay, and I'm gonna just bury it in a corner down here.
Okay, you do that. Once you're done with that, what are you gonna do?
I want to gear up with
Brixton's hideout.
yeah, I got my secret base. Everybody needs a secret base. I guess Darian knows, but only he knows.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make my way to Mir Thrason.
Okay. John Paul, you're at the water's edge. You feel a little tapping on your shoulder.
I will slowly turn and kind of look.
It's the pirate captain. She's there with her parasol, just kind of tapping on your shoulder. She says, "Are you ready to board?" Agrias says it's time to go.
You're
How
so
exciting to be on the open seas, Kalia groans.
John Paul just sits there with his like mouth going up and down, like there's probably some words in there, but they're getting mixed up before they make it out.
I couldn't agree more, she says. You and Kalia go on the raft with the Everins. I will follow in the boat. This is going to be so much fun.
Be right there.
Brixton, you're on the hippocampus with Lily and Sonny before long. Agrias, well, I take that at Kalia, you're riding on John Paul for the second time in this campaign. Let's see what I did there. You're riding on John Paul onto the raft. Arion, is there any last minute things that you would like to do before you get on the raft?
What did we find when we were looking in the tunnel area?
Oh, that's right. You guys were going to do a 24-hour tunnel run.
Yeah. Before I go,
yeah,
I wanna tell Agrias that I'm where I'm heading, and I should be at the raft in 3 to 5 days.
Right. You're telling Arion that. John Paul, you're there, and the pirate captain is taunting you and everything. Shauna comes up and she says, "Well, as much as I am enjoying this," she says, "unfortunately, we're going to hold back one more day. After all, I mean, it's only my father's life goals to go out and do this, but apparently going down and investigating the tunnels is so much more important." She says, looking overhead. The pirate captain looks at her. She says, "Here," pops open her parasol, puts it overhead. "It's snowing." She just kind of looks at her and shakes her head. As my father would say, mercenaries. And that's where we're going to end up for the day, guys. When we go tomorrow, when we go on our next episode, Brixton is going to be going forward onto Mirathason. Brixton's solo adventure. No, Mean Cab. I wish. I'd forgotten. I had an adventure tomorrow that I'm taking part in Autumn Revel, and I've been asked to be a player in a game by Minor Realm Games to support their efforts there. John Paul will be sobering up, and we'll probably actually be going with Agrias and the rest of them underneath in the water, as will Kalia and Melina and Arion. Who knows what's going to happen with Rainmar? I'm hoping to get a solo in with him on maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll keep you guys open for that. And in the meantime, let's see who is live right now. Which of our friends has got a stream going? We've got Gary Khan. We've got Praetor's Rejects. We've got all kinds of people. Let's go ahead and raid Gary Khan. So everybody that's watching us right now, go ahead and please hang around for a little while, if you would. We would really enjoy that. And in the meantime, for my players... Oh, wait, Brixton, you have something before we go.
Your mic's off.
Your mic's off, brother. Did you have something you want to say?
No, I was just waiting. Sorry, my
okay.
So it took me a second.
Yeah, everybody, thanks so much for joining in with us tonight, and we will catch you on the flip side, and have a good evening. For my players again, David Aho, Ariane Marquesas, Patrick Hope, Agrias, and Kalia, Matthew Lazinski, Brixton Bouldersbane, and Magnus Miller-Wilson, the great John Paul Cordson. Please have a good evening, and we will see you guys later. And we are doing... And we are offline. What do you guys think, boys?
Good times.
Yeah, that was a good session.
Thanks, guys. We had a great. A lot of people were there. We had a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, those bits were going around. Those bits.
oh my God, man!
We will get more.
I was having such a good time.
She says, well, we're holding him right now.
Hold on, let me finish this raid,
she
guys.
pulls out her agent and she says, Edgar? Yeah, Mr. Samuels?
Right.
Yes,
Okay, I'm done, guys. Luke Gygax just said thank you to us for
people from
raid.
Mr. Fix-It.
All right, so now that I've done the political stuff there.
And she's
and been
saying